Welcome, aviation enthusiasts. Imagine stepping aboard a jet that bridges continents with elegance. No layovers, no stress, just seamless travel. The Gulfstream G280 delivers super mid-size performance wrapped in Gulfstream prestige. It's been reported to be owned by famous figures such as Paul Pogba. Some media also claim LeBron James owns one, though he has publicly denied these reports. But behind the celebrity appeal and sharp design lies a far more practical equation, a careful balance of cost, performance, and long-term planning. Before we get started, we run the JetStream Briefing, a weekly newsletter trusted by thousands of aviation professionals and enthusiasts. Each issue delivers clear insights on private jets, ownership, and the latest news shaping the industry. It's free! Sign up now at jetstream.global. In this video, we'll break down the real economics of owning a G280, what it costs to acquire, what you'll spend to keep it flying, how it performs in the sky, what the cabin delivers, and what to expect over its full life cycle. We'll start with the purchase price and how customization drives up the numbers. Then, we'll look at fixed and variable operating costs, followed by performance specs like range, speed, and runway needs. We'll walk through the cabin experience, explore financing options, and wrap up with maintenance cycles and resale value. By the end, you'll know whether the G280 is just a luxury icon or a well-measured strategic investment. Let's get into it. The listed price for a brand new Gulfstream G280 starts at around $24.5 million to $25 million. But that's really just the beginning. Once you start adding in upgrades, custom cabin finishes, advanced entertainment systems, global connectivity, and enhanced soundproofing, the total can easily reach $29 to $30 million or more. The base price covers the airframe and a standard avionics suite, but most buyers opt for much more. Premium seating, executive layouts, upgraded lighting, and in-flight productivity tools all carry additional costs. Other popular options include enhanced vision systems, secure communications, and tailored storage solutions. What begins as a spec sheet quickly becomes a high-end flying office or retreat. In the end, your final purchase price will reflect how far you want to take performance, comfort, and style. By the way, if you'd like to understand how people actually access private aviation, we have put together a free guide called 5 Ways to Fly Private Without Owning a Jet. You can get it at jetstream.global/flyprivate. Links below. In the pre-owned market, pricing for the G280 varies significantly depending on age, hours, condition, and configuration. You'll typically see listings ranging from around $11.95 million for early model jets to $22.95 million for newer low-time aircraft, with older jets on the lower end and newer low-time models priced close to their original sale value. Jets with upgraded interiors, full engine program coverage, and strong maintenance records tend to hold their value better. Unlike brand new aircraft, these pre-owned options offer buyers more pricing flexibility and faster delivery timelines. The G280 has been around long enough to establish a stable resale market, making it easier to compare and negotiate. But with so many variables at play, interior specs, tech packages, service history, it still takes expert evaluation to find the right deal. And before your G280 even takes flight, you'll need to account for several additional costs tied to operational readiness. This includes pilot type training, stocking spare parts, acquiring support tooling, and preparing your hangar space. You'll also cover the cost of acceptance flights, final inspections, and any custom work needed to meet your operating region's requirements. Local taxes, registration fees, and import duties can further inflate your budget, especially in regions with strict aviation oversight. And for first-time buyers or those operating in new territories, establishing support infrastructure like maintenance partnership or flight crews adds to early overhead. These aren't optional, they're essential. So, while the list price might sit under $25 million, your delivered, ready-to-fly G280 could cost several million more. Owning a Gulfstream G280 means managing two major cost categories: fixed and variable. Fixed costs are what you pay no matter how many hours you fly. Expect to pay around $300,000 to $450,000 per year in crew salaries for two experienced pilots, with additional costs if you employ a flight attendant. Hangar fees vary widely, but typically fall between $50,000 and $90,000 annually, depending on location. Insurance for hull and liability coverage usually ranges from $35,000 to $70,000 per year, depending on your policy and pilot history. Add in regulatory fees, recurrent training and management services, and total fixed costs can easily reach $600,000 to $800,000 annually for most operators. Variable costs begin the moment the aircraft starts moving. Fuel is the biggest expense, and the G280 burns about 250 to 270 gallons per hour. With Jet A prices averaging $6 to $8 per gallon, you're looking at $1,500 to $2,160 per hour just in fuel. Maintenance, engine reserves, parts, and unscheduled repairs add another $700 to $1,200 per hour, depending on utilization and support program. When you factor in landing and handling fees, $200 to $500 per leg, catering, crew per diems, and miscellaneous services, your total variable cost lands between $2,400 and $4,100 per flight hour. On longer or more complex international missions, costs can push even higher. Get the latest in private aviation weekly, aircraft, ownership, and market update. Join the JetStream Briefing at jetstream.global. To put that into a real-world scenario, consider an owner flying 200 to 300 hours annually. At 200 hours, fixed cost of $700,000 plus variable cost at $3,000 per hour equals $1.3 million per year. At 300 hours, with fixed costs remaining stable and variable costs rising to $900,000, your total comes in around $1.6 to $1.8 million. That brings your effective hourly cost down to between $5,300 and $6,500 per hour, depending on utilization. If you fly less than 150 hours per year, your per-hour cost can spike sharply due to underutilized fixed costs. High utilization helps spread these expenses, but also increases wear and engine cycle accumulation. Other financial pressures come from the market itself. A 20% spike in fuel prices could add $300 to $432 per hour to your operating costs. Regulatory changes requiring new avionics or emission compliance might add $100,000 to $250,000 in retrofit expenses over a few years. Delays in parts availability or increased labor rates during high travel seasons can affect turnaround time and cost. International owners face additional pressures from currency fluctuations, import fees, and airspace charges. This is why most professional operators build a 10 to 15% contingency into their annual budget to cover unexpected spikes. At the end of the day, the G280 offers impressive value for a super mid-sized jet, but it's not a low-maintenance asset. Total annual operating costs typically range between $1.2 million and $2 million, depending on usage, mission types, and location. Planning ahead, negotiating strong service contracts, and flying consistently are key to keeping your numbers predictable. With the right structure, owning a G280 can be both a powerful travel solution and a controllable financial investment. The Gulfstream G280 delivers a powerful combination of speed, range, and altitude, making it a true contender in the super midsize category. Its published NBAA IFR range is 3,600 nautical miles, cruising at Mach 0.80 with 4 passengers and standard reserves. In real-world conditions, depending on wind, payload, and routing, that range might drop slightly, but it still covers non-stop missions like New York to London or Dubai to Paris with ease. Long-range cruise efficiency holds around Mach 0.80, while high-speed cruise approaches Mach 0.84, giving operators flexibility to trade speed for endurance. The jet's maximum Mach number is 0.85, and it can soar to a cruising altitude of 45,000 feet, flying above commercial traffic and most turbulent zones. That altitude also enhances fuel economy and passenger comfort over long legs. Under the skin, the G280 is powered by two Honeywell HTF 7250G turbofan engines, each producing 7,624 pounds of thrust. These engines not only offer robust power, but are known for reliability and lower emissions, making them a good match for demanding schedules. On the runway, the aircraft performs admirably. It requires about 4,750 feet for takeoff under standard sea level conditions and lands in just 2,375 feet to 2,720 feet when properly configured. That kind of performance opens the door to a wider array of regional and executive airports. Combined with efficient wing design and strong climb capability, the G280 reaches cruise altitudes quickly, even with a full cabin. For longer missions, pilots plan for alternatives, fuel buffers, and weight management, but the jet's strong power-to-weight ratio makes it exceptionally versatile. Whether it's a non-stop transcontinental flight or a tight hop into a mountain airstrip, the G280 delivers mission-ready performance across the board. Inside the Gulfstream G280, comfort meets functionality in a cabin designed to serve both business and leisure missions. The interior measures approximately 25 feet 10 inches long, excluding baggage, 6 feet 11 inches wide, and 6 feet 1 inch high, offering a roomy feel for its super mid-size class. Standard seating configurations accommodate up to 10 passengers, with flexible layouts that can include club seating, divans, or conference-style arrangements. Some layouts also support sleeping for up to 5 people, ideal for longer or overnight trips. Gulfstream's signature 19 large oval windows flood the cabin with natural light and enhance a sense of openness. A fully equipped galley typically comes standard, alongside one or more private lavatories and generous baggage compartments. Materials often include custom hardwoods, fine leather upholstery, and detailed finishes tailored to owner preferences. Beyond aesthetics, the G280's cabin is engineered for performance and connectivity. Modern versions come with high-end climate control, LED mood lighting, and advanced sound insulation that keeps the cabin quiet even at cruise. Optional upgrades include high-speed satellite Wi-Fi, secure communications links, and real-time cabin management systems. Because the G280 has been on the market for years, interior upgrade options are extensive, ranging from refurbished upholstery and modular partitions to full interior refurbishments. The cockpit features a Gulfstream Plainview 280 system, based on Rockwell Collins ProLine Fusion, offering 3 large LCD displays, synthetic vision, graphical flight planning, and auto throttle. This setup reduces pilot workload and enhances situational awareness. Combined, the G280's cabin and cockpit deliver a blend of luxury, usability, and cutting-edge tech that remains competitive even in newer markets. While some G280 buyers choose to pay in full, the majority opt for financing through aviation-focused lenders. These institutions typically fund 60% to 80% of the aircraft's value, using the jet itself as collateral. Common structures include amortizing loans, finance leases, or operating leases, each with different impacts on balance sheets, cash flow, and tax exposure. Buyers often work with advisors to model residual value and maintenance reserves as part of the underwriting process. In regions with favorable tax laws, leasing or partial charter use can help offset ownership costs. And because the G280 has an established market footprint, financing and leaseback options are generally easier to arrange compared to newer, unproven models. Joint ownership is another route. where two or more parties share purchase and operating costs, often dividing access by usage hours or schedule. While this significantly lowers the financial burden per owner, it introduces operational complexity, requiring clear governance and coordination. Another option is placing the aircraft on a charter certificate when local regulations allow the G280 to generate revenue during idle periods. This can help offset cost, but also increases utilization, wear, and regulatory scrutiny. For corporate owners, aviation tax strategies like accelerated depreciation or capital allowances may improve financial efficiency. In international setups, careful structuring of import duties, registration jurisdictions, and currency exposure is essential. Ultimately, the best ownership model balances cost efficiency, risk management, usage needs, and long-term value preservation. The Gulfstream G280 begins its operational life with relatively modest maintenance demands. In the first few years, you'll mostly deal with routine inspections, minor repairs, and software updates, no major overhauls. But as flight hours and cycles accumulate, more substantial tasks emerge: engine checks, structural inspections, avionics refreshes, and interior refurbishments. Mid-life maintenance can include overhauls for life-limited components and system upgrades required to keep the jet compliant with evolving regulations. In later years, parts obsolescence and rising service costs can make ownership less economical unless you stay ahead of issues. Detailed records, consistent upkeep, and timely upgrades are essential to stretching the aircraft's economic lifespan. When it comes to resale, the G280 benefits from a well-established secondary market. Pre-owned prices typically range between $11.95 million and $22.95 million, depending on condition, year, flight hours, and onboard features. Jets with low hours, fresh interiors, and complete engine program coverage command the strongest offers. Like most business jets, the G280 tends to depreciate 5 to 10% per year during the first several years, then levels out later in life. Owners who invest in periodic cabin updates, avionics modernization, and thorough maintenance can protect more of their aircraft's value. When timed correctly, the resale or trade-in can cover a sizable portion of your investment, especially if the aircraft has strong records and desirable features. The Gulfstream G280 is more than a super mid-sized jet. It's a precision tool for business, reach, and comfort. With a range of 3,600 nautical miles and cruising speeds near Mach 0.84, it links key cities without compromise. Inside, it offers flexible layouts, plush finishes, and the tech to stay connected at 45,000 feet. Yet, behind the comfort lies commitment. An acquisition cost approaching $30 million when fully equipped, and operating costs that can exceed $4,000 per flight hour. It's not just about flying. It's about planning, maintaining, and maximizing every hour in the air. For owners who demand nonstop performance and global flexibility, the G280 delivers. It's not for everyone, but for those who need efficiency without excess, it's exactly the right jet.